Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to another live. If you're a returning viewer, listener, subscriber, welcome back, welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Voices in Education. Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. We do that in a respectful way to ensure that we're maintaining our safe community, all right? So we do not bash anyone, we do not belittle anyone, no disrespecting around here. We keep it real and respectful. All right, so welcome, welcome. If you were here last evening, we talk about the men's 100 meters, and that for sure was an exciting conversation. And, we left there predominantly with the notion based on the conversation that we had that Kishane was going to be the one to beat. All right, so this evening we'll do that on the women's side of things in the context of the 100 meters. A lot of us were expecting or hoping, keeping our fingers crossed that Elaine Thompson Hera will, return to the Olympic Games to defend her title. But unfortunately, that is not the case for this Olympic Games. And in that vein, I want to wish, the fastest woman alive, a speedy recovery. And we hope to see her, I guess, next season. I'm not sure if she's going to come back like toward the end of the season, but, hopefully next season, she'll be up and running, as they would say, up like seven. All right, guys, as you enter, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button, and tell a friend to tell another friend about the Voices in Education. Run, come quick, quick, because this is going to be a quick conversation, and it's pretty much our build up to the Olympic Games. So each evening, and we'll see how best we can double up on the conversations. We'll just have conversation moving toward the games, and so would love to hear from you. Who will win the 100 meters? I am hoping that Rurian will join me in a little bit to talk about this. But I guess the big question is the USA versus Jamaica in this context. And, given what I have seen so far, I am going to say that Shakari Richardson is the person to beat in this one. So would love to hear from you guys in this context as well. You know, Shakari Richardson, we saw, like, I am not too sure where Shericka Jackson is right now in the context of her form. We saw her, coming back bit by bit in the 200 meters. She didn't do much in the 100. And then we saw what happened at that Diamond League. Was it the Diamond League? I guess so. That event or that Continental Tour. That event there, where she pretty much, pulled up. And so in that context, I am not too sure, haven't had much information regarding, what happened there in the context of Shericka. We know that Shelly is coming back to. Will she be able to put on a show in terms of getting a gold? I'm not too sure, but one thing we know for sure about Shelly is that she's going to turn up and she's going to show up. She has that confidence, she understands the sport very well. She's a professional, right? And so that we can expect from, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, as they would say, the queen of sprinting. But I don't want to be the only person here talking. So I am just going to see, do I have the, okay, I need to get the WhatsApp number on screen. I need to get the WhatsApp number on screen, guys. Just give me a second while I just get that ready for you so I can have it there on screen. But in the meantime, roll call, roll call. Who is here? Comment in the chat. So I'm still here, guys. I'm just noticing that the WhatsApp number is not up on the screen. So I'm just getting that all sorted out for you guys. So I'm just hoping to get back to the screen now. All right, let's try and see if things are okay now. All right, you should be able to see that WhatsApp number on screen now. All right, so roll call, roll call. Who is here? Give me a call. Would love to hear from you. All right, so Shakari Richardson, from what I know, she has the world leading time. All right, for this, I guess, this season. All right. And what to note as well in the context of that, if you guys were familiar with the USA track and field, trials, right? In terms of the Olympic Games, it's first, second, and third for Shakari and their training partners. So Jefferson was in second, TT Terry was in the number three spot there. And so that too is, fantastic in that context. I'm just trying to get some results for you here as we talk about that in terms of the women's, final. So it was 10-7-1 for Shakari, and the wind was 0.8 plus 0.8. Melissa Jefferson, 10-8-0. Twanisha, so TT Terry, 10-8-9. All right. And then we had Tamari Davis there, 10-9-1. And Alia Hobbs, 10-9-3. So 10-7-1 for Shakari, 10-8-0 for Melissa. TT Terry, 10-8-9. Tamari Davis, 10-9-1. And then Alia Hobbs rounding out the top five there, 10-9-3. All right, so let me just quickly check into the chat here. So who is there, guys? Come on, man. Somebody comment. I'm not sure if persons are here or it's a case where, let me know if you're hearing me. Who is here? Come on, guys. You're here. Talk to me. Check in, check in. Where are you tuned in from? Let me know. Would love to know where you're tuning in from. All right, so as the rock and come in, just check in, guys. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscription button. The phone number is on screen. All right, Justin, you're here. All right, wonderful. Hello to all the people tuned in from Antigua and Barbuda. All right, so represent. Again, as I was sharing here, Justin, I suspect that you were listening because this is your lady, right? Miss Shakari. And so I shared earlier, I'm not sure if you were here, that Shakari is the one to beat for this one. All right, so guys, come in, man. Check in. Would love to hear from you guys. What are your views? Come on, we can't be silent. And even if you're not supporting Shakari and it looks like Shakari, just talk to me. Even if you would hope to see, somebody else, rock and come in. DJ Mooney, welcome, welcome. Grenada is here. And Justin is saying, rock and come in, Shakari Richardson all the way. And we know, guys. So in that case, Justin, I need to get the drum roll. I haven't forgotten. All right. So the drum roll for the Americans and the pot cover for the Jamaicans. All right. But we're here. So guys, rock and come in, rock and come in. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's talk about it, man. Yesterday, persons were sharing about the men. A woman time now. Come on, come on. Talk to me. Would love to hear from you in that context. All right, come on, come on. Talk to me, talk to me. Shakari is the one to beat. Do you agree? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat there. So I'm just here checking on some information here. So really, really, as I shared, Shakari is really the one to beat in this one. And I guess, with the experience that she now has, I don't think we're going to see something that we saw in the World Championships, where she was pretty much waiting for, one of the best times there in the queue room. So I don't think we're going to see that. And, we'll see, I guess, the Jamaicans here. I don't know where they're at in that context, especially, Shericka now. And I'll talk about the 200. That's another conversation in the context of Gabby. I saw some things there in London, and Gabby looks very good. But that's another conversation for the 200. Let's stick to the 100 for now. All right, guys, I see you guys sharing, and I see you guys rocking and coming. So rock and come in and talk to me. Hit the like button, hit the subscription button. Guys, don't be stingy with the likes. And Justin is sharing, yes, the lady, so Shakari is the one to beat. All right, so do you agree, guys? Let me know what are your views there in the chat. And absolutely, we can agree to disagree. And, I'm just looking at some comments over here on social media in the context of this question. And one comment here, tight competition. No one is a winner for me until the race is run. I guess I am Team Jamaica all the way. All the best, ladies. Let the rivalry begins. All right. So some comments here. I am hoping Shelly-Ann retire with the victory. So again, and somebody here, not even close. USA all day long. And honestly, USA on, I guess, better form than our girls. So some persons are being honest, and that is good in that context. But really, Shakari has it to win, I guess, given where, she's at this point. And it is, I guess, her race to lose. Let's put it that way. Not saying that she must win, but it is her race to lose as I am seeing things at this moment. Am I doubting the Jamaicans? Absolutely not. We're just talking, about what we're seeing right now. And it is Shakari's race to lose, right? We can definitely put it that way. All right. And Jefferson is absolutely running. I am suspecting too that she might be in the contention for the medals, right? And so that is another aspect of this conversation too. Is it a case where Jamaica might just get one medal from the 100? Are we expecting two? Or, what's going to happen? And that's the exciting part, right? We don't know for sure what is going to happen, but based on what we're seeing now, we can kind of say, okay, this is the situation, and this is what I guess would like to see in that context. All right. So definitely something that we are looking out for in this context. And so at the Jamaica trials, if I am remembering correctly, Shericka ran 10.84, and that was ahead of Tia Clayton 10.90, and then Shelly 10.94. All right, so those are the numbers that I am remembering right now, and I stand corrected. So if that is different in the chat there, you can let me know. But from that, that's pretty much what I am remembering there in that context. So when we look at those times, right, compared to what the Americans ran in their, final, I mean, if we look at the best time, 10:04, in the context of the American, trials, the US trials, that would put Shericka in the number 3 spot, right behind Melissa Jefferson, right? And so while we can't use that because factors definitely, vary in this context, right? We can kind of tell a sense of, where our athletes are. All right. So one of the athletes here that I want to kind of talk about a little bit is Tia. I am not too sure, what we are going to see from Tia. Would love, super love, if she makes it to the final. Do I believe that she can? Definitely. But what is going to, I guess, what is expected from her in this context is for her to manage the rounds, in a good way. And I say this because of what I saw at the trials when she won the semifinals, her semifinals ahead of Shericka Jackson, right? Yeah, it was ahead of Shericka. Yes, I believe so. Guys, lots happening, so I'm just trying to go back with my brain right now. And it, like, to me, she ran a faster time in the semis as opposed to the final, and we want it the other way around, right? And that for me is a sign of not managing the roads properly. And so when you have that experience, and Tia has experience, I will say has experience, coming up from the juniors, but on the senior level, I guess it's a little bit different, going pro. But I guess she has, some amount of experience to pull from, albeit, at the junior level. But in that context, you want to save, for the end. And I did not get that from her because she went out and she was determined to say, I guess, I beat Shericka, beat a top athlete. And so when you look at the top athletes, oh, it's a semi. I just need to ensure that, I get in and, I am qualified to run. But I did not get that from Tia. And if you look back, and if you can remember what happened, it was such big celebrations, like at the semis, And I understand that because she, young, and the excitement and just knowing that, you're doing thing. And by the way, from if we're going to go back, to those days, she would have been the slower of the twins, all right? And so you think about Stephen Francis just, coaching, but the sister will be back for sure and will definitely look out for her, Tina. But in this context for her, again, managing the rounds. And if she's able to do that, she'll definitely make the final. And perhaps that's when I would want her to say, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run and power away leave these girls and see where that puts her. Let me just quickly check in the chat. Justin is asking how is Shericka doing. I'm not too sure. All right, Justin. We get that. Agra Valley, welcome. And Agra Valley is saying I'm going with Shericka to win the 100 medal, 100 meters. And DJ Mooney is saying 2 medals going for Jamaica in this one. DJ Mooney, tell me which 2 medals and who. All right, Shericka hands full this Olympics. That's from Justin. Ruren, you're here, so I'm just going to come over to you. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Natasha.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. So I'm just going to pass on over to you for a little bit so you can talk
Okay.
to us.
Well, you're asking who will win, and that's the big question for the 100 meters. I think it's going to be, very interesting to see how this one pans out. Shakari did really well in the World Championships last year and has shown some good form coming into the Olympic Games. I haven't been on the ground as much as I should be but I don't think she is, performing a lot on the Diamond League, or, just so, that could be good or bad. It could be a case where she's running certain times and they're saying, here, what, let us keep that in check. So, your competitors will be surprised when you pop up on them at the Olympic Games. So, hopefully that is the case, and it's not a case where she's, watching any sort of niggle or anything like that. But she has been doing really well, and she is probably in pole position to take this 100 meters race. Shericka is someone who would put, Shakari under some pressure there, and not too sure of her status in terms of her health, in terms of her fitness. So hopefully she is back to full strength and is ready to take on the rest of the field. But there are lots of little things to consider. The good thing for Shakari, let me go back there, I didn't mention this, is that she has the experience now, and she has that tick in the box that says, I've gone to the final of a 100 meters race with top athletes there, and I beat it. I beat them in that race, and that will give her loads of confidence going forward. And I'm making reference to that 100 meters in the World Championship last year. So maybe we're not going to see Shakari, with those nerves, that sometimes seem to, you know, overtake her. So she is maturing into a good athlete. Shericka, the next person that I was on, Shericka if she's up to full fitness, then it's going to be a good showdown between those two, knowing that Shericka it will know that Shakari has good top end speed, and she will not leave anything to chance if in a race like that. So those two, barring injuries, will definitely put on good competition on each other, and that's going to help to pull the others along in this race. Not too sure where Shelly is in terms of her fitness. She has not been running lots of races. So she came out and made sure that she qualified for her 100 meters race, and she didn't contest the 200. So Shelly is focusing on the 100 meters race, and we can't rule out Shelly. Shelly is it will be one of the most experienced women that will be, in the field if she gets through the rounds. And, she also has that know-how on many different levels. So she has that there, that experience accounts for a lot. So we can't rule out Shelley in any way or form. So we can remember Shelley is called the pocket rocket or mommy rocket based on her start. And she has, if she can execute her start with, and a good race, then she's going to be right up there in the mix. um, Talu, I'm not too sure how Talu is right now. And I was a bit disappointed in the last race that she, you know, she ran in that I saw. Didn't run very well, run over 11 seconds there. And, hopefully she will be back in the mix for the Olympic Games. But again, with Talu, we are talking about experience, and I think experience goes a far way to when it comes on to the Olympic Games. So yes, that's what I think so far as it relates to the 100 meters. I'm looking forward for those ladies to really, really well. Looking out to see how Tia Clayton performs on the biggest stage as well, to see, how she has transitioned into, that role. So it's going to be an interesting one, Natasha Lee. And, I am I am thinking it's going to be between. Well, I'm thinking the top three spots going to be shared among Shelly, Shericka, and Shakari.
Let me
But
just drag
without
your
a doubt,
brain a little bit, Rurian. You're
go ahead.
missing Julian Alfred. Julian
Oh, yes,
Alfred
for
from
sure,
St.
for
Lu
sure, for
from
sure,
St.
for sure,
Lucia. Don't count her
for
out.
sure.
And that is why I'm saying, I mean, the picture is not up. Sorry guys, rushing and trying to get that, but for sure she has to be in this conversation. And I am telling you, we see her, she has that 200 strength, and she's going to be fantastic. And really, if I am kind of fearful, but the thing is that Jamaica, perhaps if we are not strong enough, maybe our best medal in this 100 is going to be a bronze, right? Because when you think about Shakari being the one to beat, but Julian Alfred, I am telling you, she's very determined. And she's definitely going to be one to watch. So guys, when I tell you, we try to be as real as possible and listen. So I want you to talk to me about Julian Alfred, because we cannot have a conversation without Julian Alfred in the mix. Talk to me, Ruben.
Thank you, Natasha, for dragging the old brain here. For yes, Julian has performed consistently throughout 2024, and she's going to be up there. The only thing that I worry about for Alfred, and something that we have discussed before as well, is the amount of workload that she has put in. She is always on the track, and that would be my only fear for her. But as it relates to her performances, she is going to be up there in that top tier as well. So I'm adding her to Shelly, Shakari, um, Shericka, I think Shericka. That's going to be, I'm thinking, is going to form the core of the 100 meters final.
All right, absolutely. So who is going to win, Ruben? I'm going to ask you. Talk to me. Who is going to win?
Well, it's hard for me to say right now, but based on performances going on, that we have seen so far in 2024, you'd have to give Shakari the pole position there, with, Sharika, as I said, there's question mark over her, fitness there, and Shelly has not been on the track laps either. So those you will have question marks around. And also with Shakari, even though she's in good form, haven't seen a lot of her either. So, those don't necessarily give you the clearest cut in terms of how they will perform based on, regular performances, but those persons are going to be there up in the core, I would say. But for now, based on all performances seen so far, Shakari would definitely be the front runner.
Okay, okay, I get you there. And lots to think about when we bring in like a Dina Asha. And as I said, we cannot have a conversation of this nature without including our Caribbean girl, Julian Alfred. And of course, Alfred was in Jamaica for some time too. So yeah, it's good when we look at it this way. Alfred is very determined. But guys, I don't know what's happening there in the chat. Close the X and hit the like button, now, man. Come on, nobody liking the live? Come on, man, like up the live. And DJ Mooney saying, okay, I see. Let me see where I'm missing here. Agra Valley, welcome. I'm going with Shericka to win the 100. DJ Mooney said 2 medals for Jamaica. I think I asked and you said Jacko, Shelly, and Tia. Okay, you forgot about Alfred as well. And Agra Valley Pharmacy, I can assure you that Shericka is now in 10-6 shape for the 100 meter. Julian is one of the runners in there for a medal. All right, so we're looking forward to seeing that 10-6. If that is the case, Agro, that would be exciting for sure. And I agree with you that Julian is going to be in it. And that's why I kind of say, shake it to say it. But if it is that our Jamaican athletes are not strong enough, maybe our best medal might be a bronze in the 100, right? And so we have to think about it in that case too, because Alfred, and as we have talked about here, as Rurian shared, my only concern for Alfred is that she has been running, a lot this season and haven't seen her kind of, taking a break. So I am wondering if that might affect, her performance. But for sure, she's getting better and better. And what we have seen so far is that she's in some, good form, right? And so to me, that is something good. Will that translate to a medal for her in the Olympic Games? I hope so, because she has definitely put in some work and, she's out there, but would want to see, something phenomenal from Alfred as well, in the Olympic Games, based on what we're seeing. And I remember in London, all right, at the Diamond League, I pretty much predicted how, that race was going to go. Like Alfred is going to go out so hard, right? In that context. So, but Gabby, and I said that 200, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Gabby Thomas because that's definitely something that we need to talk about. All right. So in that context, so Carrie, welcome, welcome. Why are so many Jamaican athletes getting injured? I'm not too sure, but it's a part of this the nature of the sport, right? But I'm not too sure if it is that we need to learn something more about, I guess, the body and how it works, or we are missing something. But injuries are there, but not too sure. And I don't even want to pick up this argument, but somebody when there was some back and forth between I guess Stephen Francis and David Riley, that was one of his thing in terms of trying to diss Coach Francis to say, why am I always have so much athletes injured? And if it is that you know about the sport, why is it that you always have so many injured athletes? So that's a question, not too sure. All right, so candid declarations. Welcome, welcome. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and Shericka Jackson. So you're saying those two are going to win? Let me know, Candid. And Sam, the coaches are not able to manage these athletes properly. And maybe, I don't know, and especially when you have a lot of athletes because MVP is a big camp. So I don't know what's the ratio in terms of, coaching session athletes to coach or, whatever, how that goes. But again, it all depends too. And too, that some of our athletes coming out of champs where, I guess they're not being managed from those early days well because schools do not have, I guess, the technical resources or the resources to do that. And at that point, it's just about winning a school championship, right? Boys and girls champs. And so, in that context, I feel for Jamaicans, sometimes they might be running with injuries and don't even know, right? And so, the aim is just there to run. So, once they kind of transition to pro now, and that real kind of work starts to come in, then I guess they kind of start to pick up, okay, this has happened. And so they need to work on it for perhaps for the athlete to run faster or for them to change some technicality in terms of their running, whatever that is. So I feel like in the context of Jamaica, that's where we would have to start in terms of injuries, because as you know, a lot of these athletes, it's about getting the points at boys and girls champs. And let's go. DJ Moon is saying she's really powerful and strong-minded, Miss Alfred. Oh yes, she's strong, she's determined, and she's going to go hard. All right, so we see that. And Obliqua's injuries again after the national trials. I didn't know that. Perhaps I missed that. It's too much. The coaches are not doing something right, and something is wrong. Glenn Mills too. I get what you're saying. It's a chance alone, but perhaps you don't know what was happening from that point. So definitely. Guys, come on, man. Hit the like button. We can get the likes up to over 20. Come on. Close the X and hit that thumbs up button. And also hit the subscription button. Ensure that you turn on your post notification because we're going to be here each evening to talk about, something, Paris. All right. Yeah, Kishan never, but it was running at Gary Masio, so I am not too sure how that happened in that context. I mean, the name might not be a big name there, but still there was some work, right? And we're not too sure at what how they're managing athletes, right? And I don't know at what point Kishane picked up that injury, so I cannot speak to that though. Ruben, so coming back over to you in the context of this conversation. So, Samsung, while you're at it, tell me who is going to win the women's 100 meters? I want to hear your predictions. Coming over to you, Ruben. So, I guess this is going to be like when we think about the 100 meters for women, we think about it in the context that perhaps is not as competitive as the men's. But really, it's going to be an exciting one because when you think about Julian Alfred, Shakari, if we add Dina Asha to this mix, and I'm hoping that Kalu is back into some form there. Like we can have a very competitive race over on this side. So talk to me some more about that context or anything else you'd like to share.
Yes, Natasha, I don't think it's going to be an easy race. I think it's going to be a super competitive race. I think it's a good field of ladies that will come through for that final. Um, the thing is just that for from a Jamaican perspective, we know that the athletes have not been on top of their game in terms of in terms of health and in terms of performance as well. So it's going to be a pretty good feel, and it's really interesting based on what we have discussed so far. When you think about the likes of Shakari, who is in her prime, I would say, of sprinting now. Shelly, who has tons of experience. Shericka, who did awesomely well last year. We're talking about three top athletes there. When you add Julian Alfred to the mix, Asha, and also I'm not and Talu, yes, we that's a decent field already. So I wouldn't say the female race is not going to be competitive. It's going to be a decent race, I would say. And to anyone who beats Shakari, I would say in this race, or if they come close to beating Shakari, it's going to be an awesome race. So, guys, it's going to be good to follow these, races from the heats right up to the semifinals just to see how these athletes are shaping up. And that will give us a good indication of who will, triumph, who will come out on top. But, it's a lot for me when I think about the sprint, all the races there in the Olympic Games. I think one, your skill set, that's going to be, important. Two, experience. I think experience weighs in a lot there as well. And how you manage the rounds, that's another thing. And just the whole atmosphere too. You don't want to be lost in that atmosphere. You have to find a way to find your space to say, okay, I'm composed, I am focused, so that you can go out there and execute that race. Because sometimes when these races are run, it's not the best time that you will see in the final. You know, sometimes it's not the fastest time that you'll see all season that win. But I think it's the person who will, is able to block out the external factors and put together a good race in that final. That will take that Olympic, gold medal. So it's kind of like that, Natasha Lee. I'm going to add to something that you mentioned in terms of athletes being managed and and all. When it comes on
Sure.
to go ahead.
Now I was saying sure.
At the high school level, when kids are prepared for champs, it's the objective of the coach, I would say, at that level, to harness as much points as they can from the championships there. So that's the aim of the coach. And I think the coach would probably be, given a mandate by the principal who was saying that, last year we got 10 points, so this year we want 20. And that would be how the coach probably will be judged on, his or her performance and not necessarily thinking about the athletes in certain regards. So it's lots to bear in mind.
Okay, for sure. So I was just seeing a comment that the physiotherapist, and this is not something that I can confirm, for Shericka Jackson, shared that, she did not pick up any serious injury at that run, I guess, where she pulled up. And we talked about that. And when you shared that, the fact that, she was able to come off the track by herself, that's an indication that, things are not too bad. And what we're hearing is that she had a cramp in her hamstring. And so it wasn't, that she picked up a serious injury. So we want to hope that things are good with Jacob, as we would want with every athlete. All right, so in a little bit, Ruben, I'll come back to you. And I'm seeing here KW Samson share that Shakari is going to be first, Clayton twin second, Shericka third, and Shelly fourth. Where will you put Julian Alfred? Kiwi. So that's a question there for you guys. Come on, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscription button, and turn on your post notification so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. Ruren, are you ready for us again? All right, not hearing from Ruren, so I suspect that you'll come in a bit. So again, some good news there, in that context. All right. So again, we see a lot, and we cannot count out Julian Alfred. All right. I feel that, she is in absolutely good form, and we're going to see, or should see, something fantastic from Alfred. I'm just, as we talked about here in the context of, running so close and, perhaps doing a little bit too much. But I suspect that she should know at this point, what is going to be enough for, perhaps when she's pushing a little bit too much. But powerful, determined, absolutely. And we see her getting stronger. We see her 200 runs, and that is definitely helping her in the 100 meters as well. Guys, welcome, welcome. Roll call, roll call. Who is here? Let me know in the chat. Come on. Talk to me, talk to me. Roll call. Jamaica, are you here? I know Trelawney is here. Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, aka half Antigua and half America, is here. Come on, guys. Who is going to win the 100 meters for women? Would love to hear from you. Give us a call. Let me just check the line to see if I'm missing any calls. And not missing any calls, but would love to hear from you guys. So don't be afraid to give us a call and let us know who is going to win this 100 meters for women. If you missed the last evening conversation, it's up when we talked about the men. And, a lot of persons had something to say, and Kitchen Thompson is their favorite going in. But right now, I don't know if I guess some persons are saying Shakari. I think Shakari is perhaps the favorite based on what I am seeing from this chat and based on what was shared so far, based on what, was shared so far in this conversation. And so, that is something to see. So, Sam, I'm still waiting for you to tell me where you're going to put Julian Alfred in the context of this 100 meters. All right. Ruren, are you ready for a second?
Here, not actually.
Wonderful. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that, the focus is on different things for different people at different levels. And, high school athletes, I don't think gets, well, based on my understanding, does not, their best interest sometimes goes on the back burner just to ensure that the school, is, is doing well. So, a lot needs to change in that regard. Lots of schools, I would say, or some schools don't have adequate programming as well. So nutrition isn't the best, and fitness training and all of that. So lots of ills back down there, but hopefully we'll continue. Jamaica will continue to produce, and other countries will continue to produce some top class athletes, and they'll stay healthy. Back over to you.
Wonderful. Yeah, in that context, in terms of, you know, the athletes and I guess managing, injuries. And for sure, that is something that we are looking forward to seeing, improvements as we continue to grow. And again, as I shared, Alfred is in the 10-7 shape. So we cannot rule out Julian Alfred, and she's going to be strong. She's going to push hard, and so it's going to be a good run. Like I am happy when things are going. And Samson is saying Alfred is going to be in the fifth spot. So in this context, we love when you're sharing, guys. So what Samson is saying here is that Shakari is going to be first. Tia is going to be second, Shericka third, Shelly fourth, and Julian Alfred in the number 5 spot. So we'll definitely keep an eye out on that. And guys, we'll be here for the Olympic Games. If I am on the road, whatever it takes to just go live, if it's either for a second, but I mean, we'll be more than a second, but for sure, we are going to be here to keep the interactions, going, the communication, the conversations. We need to have that. So while you're watching, ensure that you're also over here, for the conversation. When they do the foolishness and hopefully not in the relays, we'll be here to talk and, definitely. Top Boy Price, welcome, welcome. And let me see what you're saying here. I'm just trying to get to the chat here. Okay, wonderful. So remember in 2020, Shelly was the favorite, and for the 100, then came the Olympic. Elaine won. Nobody thought Elaine would medal. All right, so I get what you're saying. So favorites, don't always win, and definitely get that. And what I'm not able to confirm, but just from what I got to see a little while ago, that Shericka's physio was saying, it wasn't any serious injury that she picked up. It was just a cramp in the hamstring. And so if one Shericka is in, top shape form, then that's going to be a different conversation. But because we're yet to see that, we saw her improving in the 200 meters, but still not where we would expect her to be. But then for Shericka this season, there was an, I guess, intentional effort or strategy to do things a little bit differently. I suspect they want her to peak at, I guess, the Olympic and I guess beyond that. But if you notice that she has not, run a lot this season compared to last season when she was running. And so that is a strategic move on the part of, her coaching staff. Will that pay off in the long run? We'll see. I am no expert on that, but we'll see what happens. And if you notice that she has been doing better and still not where I would want to see her for the 200, and that kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But I said I'll talk about the 200 another time. But for sure, if she's in the shape that we want her to be, then we're going to see something for sure. Shamar, welcome, welcome. I think we should, I think we should see the athletes compete to the best of their abilities and they'll put on a great show. I believe that too. And as I always share, nobody turns up to lose, right? Everybody is going there to win. Once you go to the line, you have a goal and the aim is to win. It doesn't matter if the fastest woman alive is in the race. You're going there to do your part. You're going there to challenge, and anything is possible. So, oh, definitely, definitely. Guys, can you close the chat and 10 persons hit the like button? Come on, man. We can do better with the likes. And subscribe to guys. Come on. I see some new names. If you just support us, man, hit the like button and the subscription button. Easiest ways to support us is by liking and subscribing. All right, those are the easiest ways to support us. Liking, subscribing, and sharing. Yes, tell a friend to tell another friend that they can bank on it. You can definitely bank on Voices in Education. Yes, put 1 million subscribers on it, no man. Come on, come on. All right, guys. So I don't know. I am wondering if the phone line is working. Come on, guys, give us a call. I'm not, it is working. It is working. I know it's working. But persons are just here. I guess for some of us we're new to this space, so welcome, welcome. And if you're new, it's okay to comment, it's okay to call. This is a safe space. We don't bash anybody, so we don't diss anybody over here. We don't talk bad about people. So we try to keep this space safe where you feel valued, where you a sense of belonging, and even if you share a different view, it is totally okay. Once you're sharing in a respectful way, nobody is going to come and say, oh, you said you share your view, you're entitled to share your voice. All right. So welcome to Voices, not just my voice, but it's our voices. So would love to definitely hear from you. On that note, too, as I talk about our voices, I'm going to put the link in the chat to that channel, the backup channel, guys, and we want your support over there. And as I've shared, something happened in the past few weeks, and we decided that, it was important for us to make this move. All right. And so, in that context, I am going to drop the link in the chat here. All you need to do is just tap on the link and hit subscribe. All right, that's all you need to do. Just tap it and subscribe. We're trying to get subscribers over there. So if we need to go live from that page, we can do that. All right. So we kindly ask for your support over there. So if you say you subscribe over here already, and you're supporting us, then we should see the numbers change over on that channel. All right. So the link is in the chat. Again, welcome, welcome. So just go over there and subscribe and turn on your post notification over there as well. All right. So pretty much from what we have shared here, Shakari seems to be the favorite from this conversation. And then we have, different persons or athletes who might fall into the remaining, podium positions. And for sure, as I shared, that we cannot have a conversation of this nature without Julian Alfred, and so that for sure is an important aspect as we move toward this 100 meters final in Paris. Bonjour, comment ça va? All right, hello, how are you? And so that for me is definitely important. We have quite, a lot of talented ladies that we're going to see, showing their talents, in Paris. And, it's definitely exciting. And I think it's equally as exciting as the men's 100, meters. Nothing, that 100 meters should take away from the women's 100 meters on this side. And I hope that all the athletes remain in good shape and form, free of injuries, because we want to have an exciting show, right? Because if we had the opportunity to say, okay, Elaine, you're injury free, we would want to see Elaine Thompson, right? And I feel that Elaine is missing here, but it is what it is. And again, we want to send best wishes for the fastest woman alive and hope to see you soon back on the track. All right. And so that is definitely important. So just checking here in the chat for some final comments before we sign out. So guys, talk to me now. Drop man, now or forever, hold your peace. Who is going to win? We want to talk from now, because when we're here, we come back and say, K-We did say this, Justin said that, Rurian said that, Miss Lee said that. So over to you, Rurian, just to find out if you have any final comments that you'd like to share with us before we wrap this one up.
Yes, Natasha, I just want to say thanks to all the persons who came over and, supported us and also, spent a bit of time dropping a message in the chat and, hitting that thumbs up button, hitting that subscription button, and also the ones who have shared. And if you are here with us and you haven't done so yet, we would totally appreciate if you do that right now. We appreciate your support and we want to take you on this journey with us. It's a journey in which we learn from each other. So, we want to hear your input and we want you to be with us here all the time. So again, I'm just imploring you to, go over to the backup channel just in case we are unable to go live from this channel and hit that subscription button. Make sure your post notification is on so that we're able to connect whenever a live is on. so we can hear from you. You know, this platform is one in which we are a family, and we look forward seeing you here with us each time we go live. So please make sure you do that aspect of it so that we can always be in touch. I thank you for your wonderful comments. They are really appreciated, and see you next time.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ruren, for sharing, and thank you for all your contribution as well. Shamari said for the last 3 years, for me, the 100 meters, I guess for both men and women, has been unpredictable, and I don't normally try to predict because of the intensity of the field, and I totally get that. But try to think about it, man, and analyze and apply, your thing to it and say, okay, this is perhaps the top three. Even that, or who would you want to see in the top three? Maybe that's another question too. But again, thank you guys so much for all your support, your participation in the chat here, and most importantly, for maintaining our safe space, our safe community. And as with the sport, ups and downs, it's similar to life. In something, sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. But if we're down, there is only one place for us to go, and it's up, right? And so let us try our best to jump over, the hurdles or move around them, or however we can get past them. Let us try our best to do that. So let's just try to look at life's lighter and brighter side. Remember to put God first, all right, in whatever it is that you're doing. Blessings and love, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow for our next talk as we get on, this journey, as we continue on this journey to Paris. Yes, Paris, but ensure that you hit the like button, the subscription button, the share button, and turn on your post notification. Yes, tap that bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates. Blessings and love, everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll talk tomorrow. So, see you in the next live. Bye for now.